Hey, what's going on today, guys? It's Colin here, and I am currently up at 4 o'clock in the morning right now, and I had to make this video. First of all, I wanted to make a little bit of an apology for my last video. I realized it came off a little bit as brash, and now that I know that CPU generation now plays a huge role in compatibility with Windows 11, I do have to say I am sorry for giving information to people who might not have been able to upgrade to Windows 11 just because of that hard floor limitation of CPU generation. Although I won't take it down because I do feel like there are some people that still can and will see TPM and whatever. But I wanted to apologize for that and let you guys know that I was wrong and I was a little bit too brash on that. So yeah, I thought, and keep in mind, this was before they updated their hardware, whatever, their hardware limitation with, because beforehand the soft floor was CPU generation and the hard floor was just TPM. So you didn't have to have an 8th gen Intel or a 1st gen or a 2nd gen Ryzen to run Windows 11. Beforehand, it was simply a matter of, it was simply just a matter of if your processor could run up to a gigahertz speed, if you had the correct, the normal stuff. And now it seems like they're putting this artificial limitation on computers, which is really weird because their Surface 2, I think it's like the Surface whatever 2, their huge honking like iMac looking thing ripoff that they have going on their website that they sell, has a 7th gen Intel on it. Has a 7th gen Intel, and they still sell it. And that will not be able to upgrade to Windows 11, which is mighty funny. Like, I have a really big feeling that some big cheese OEMs are like, hey Microsoft, we want money, and nobody's buying a PC because PCs are not doing well right now. I love lasagna, and Microsoft's like, oh well, we'll get you some sales, but you'll have to pay us some money. We'll just limit who can upgrade with CPU generation, and we'll go from there. And I guarantee, and they released a blog post that says, oh well, we'll look into 7th gen Intel compatibility and 1st gen Ryzen compatibility. Why just that? Like, why can't you go all the way back to Sandy Bridge? Why can't you go all the way back? Like, fuck it. Why not go all the way back to 1st gen? Like, for what it's worth, I think those processors run up to like a couple gigahertz. So why not go back to those? Windows has always been known for their compatibility and their user, before, like, you could upgrade from Windows XP to Windows Vista, and it might not have been a great idea. I mean, Vista, that's not the best example, actually, because if you look at it, Vista was just a whole... Okay, so let's just take Vista to 7. You could upgrade Vista to 7, and, as long as your requirement, like, as long as you are in those requirements, you were fine. You could just upgrade. There was no artificial CPU limitation. Fuck, you could probably go all the way back to like a Pentium and still, at least Pentium 4, and still at least try to run it. And people did, and it was fine. Everyone was happy. But it seems like Microsoft is just, I don't know. It's really weird. They put this artificial CPU limitation on this. It's like, why do you want to do this, right? Okay, so here's why I'm angry. I run an overclocked Ryzen 5 1600 AF. AF is a upgraded version of the AE version of the 1600. Basically, the AF is a 2600 just downclocked a little bit. So it's basically a 2600. So has 12 nanometer lithography, and it is basically a 2600, and that's why I was able to upgrade to Windows 11. It was because I don't think it checks for the name of the processor. It just checks for the lithography and the architecture, which is Zen Plus. You need to have at least Zen Plus to be able to run Windows 11. So it's a 1600 in name, but really it's a 2600, which is why I'm able to run Windows 11. And I am currently running Windows 11, and a review is coming soon, because it runs just fine. Like, there's no reason why a 7th gen processor, a 4th gen, or a 3rd gen processor shouldn't be able to run Windows 11. I have a really big feeling it's Microsoft partnering with OEMs to artificially limit who can and cannot run Windows 11. And Microsoft can usually, oh, well, you guys will still be getting support until 2025. I mean, does that... What if I just want to upgrade to upgrade? What if I just want to have the new features? I mean, yeah, I'll still be getting security on Windows 10, but what if I just want to have the new Windows? What if I want to make sure, I'm up to date? You can't do that if you have a 7th gen or Intel or 1st gen Ryzen. It's just... Why, Microsoft? Why? Again, it just confuses me. And I am sorry for, like, being so brash, because I was in the ballpark of thinking, okay, these people, they have TPM, they don't know about it. I'll just, make a funny video, kind of tell people, hey, yo, look at your whatever, think stupid. And I mean, maybe I look like a little bit of a jackass now because I made that video, but I still stand by it partially. But it's just, I don't get it, right? It seems odd that they would just cut off based on CPU generation or architecture, because I think it is actually going by architecture, like I said, because my 1600 is a 1600 in name, but it's a 2600, basically a 2600, so take that as you will. I don't know, this whole, they better just say, okay, fuck it, we recommend these processors, but you can just run whatever you can run a Core, you can run a Core 2 Duo from like 2007 if you wanted to. They should do that. They should just say, we don't recommend this, but you can still do it. Like, whatever happened to the Microsoft that prided itself on backwards compatibility and going all the way back? No, we're just gonna go 4 years back now at most, because a lot of these processors that aren't even supported are 3 years old. But the funny thing is, Microsoft still fucking supports the Xbox One, which is an 8-year-old thing at this point. It still runs off of Jaguar cores that are like, and I realize but it's still Microsoft, and they're still supporting that. They have two completely different agendas. And there's always gonna be the one guy, oh, you should go over to Linux. You should go over to Linux, bro. If you're the Linux guy, you can shut the fuck up, because there's no hardware, there's no software support over there in terms of games. Like, the reason why I'm on Windows, it's easy to use. It's quicker to use. It feels better. But there's always going to be that one person, well, you should upgrade to Linux. You're just a sheep for following Windows, whatever. And I'm going into different fucking directions, but like, because of all of this, we have way more people that are from the Linux community, like, jerking themselves off, like having a fucking orgasm on their screen because people from 7th gen can't upgrade to Windows 11. It's like, oh, I get fucked. Like, no. Like, why do you want to shit on people that just want to upgrade? Like, why laugh at them? Because I do. I go on Reddit, and I don't go on Reddit that much because it's a fucking toxic website full of weirdos. But it's so is Twitter, but everything else. But like I said, you have Linux users jerking themselves off in their little coom cave, like, oh yeah, you should upgrade to, you should go over to Linux. You know, we have privacy and security, bro. And they just find this whole situation funny, which, you know, it's funny to a degree. But these people literally get like gratification out of this, like they achieved something, like as if you know, fucking hallelujah, people can't upgrade, you know, and I support that because then I can promote Linux even more and I can shove it in your face. So I don't know, but I just had to make this video because I've been thinking about it and I just wanted to be upfront and I wanted to apologize because that was on me. I'm happy I can't upgrade to Windows 11. I thought I couldn't, but luckily I got the AF lithography and whatever, and I'm good to go. And it runs, by the way, Windows 11 runs incredibly. Like, I've seen 50 FPS increases in a lot of my games. It's great. It's wonderful. And whether that just be because it's very bare bones right now, or whatever, I'm happy with it so far. I just wish more people could experience this, because this could really breathe new life into those older machines. And it could. And they don't, and they decide not to support them. Like, those machines could benefit most from these changes and these under the hood improvements, and they're not getting these updates. It's like, why? This could really extend the life of a lot of people's computers, and they just choose not to support them. And that's what confuses me the most. You know, it just, I fucking hate OEMs. I do. I'm standing behind the fact they probably got paid by OEMs to limit something artificially. Just, yeah, we'll pay you a little bit, and just make sure Windows 11 doesn't run on anything other than our machines. It can run on a fucking Intel Atom from 2 years ago, which is bottom barrel, shitty, like, crappy processor, whatever, but it can't run on a 7900X, or it can't run on a Ryzen 1700, Ryzen 7 1700. Where's the logic in that? Where is the logic in that? They all have TPM2. You know, even if they didn't, they could still install a little module, which, by the way, fuck the scalpers that are, you know, scalping those modules now. But why? It just boggles my mind that these people that need this upgrade the most to get the most out of their computer will not be able to get it. I don't need Windows 11. My computer runs perfectly fine. But people who are on Sandy Bridge that are just maybe starting to consider upgrading would benefit a lot, and they might have another 3 years in their computer. Fuck, they might have another 5. Who knows? But just to limit this, like, just artificially? Come on, Microsoft, you're better than this. And I know my voice isn't that big. I know I can't be heard from Microsoft headquarters. You know, you got fucking Bill Gates up there getting his rock.